You do not need more space. You need to start using the space you already have, just in a different direction. Most gardeners think horizontally, how many pots fit on the floor, how much ground they have. But right now, behind you, above you, beside you, there is growing space that has never grown a single thing. Your fence, your wall, the 6 feet of air above every pot you already own. My neighbor has a balcony half the size of mine. Last summer, she grew tomatoes, cucumbers, beans, lettuce, strawberries, and herbs all at the same time. I stood at my railing looking at her setup and felt genuinely embarrassed by my 2 sad pots of basil. She was not working harder than me, she was just working upward. Today, I'm showing you 10 vertical garden hacks that will multiply your harvest from whatever space you have: balcony, patio, tiny courtyard, single sunny wall. Stick around because hack number 6 turns 1 square foot of floor space into 12 square feet of growing area. And hack number 10 is exactly what my neighbor was doing. And once you see it, you will never look at a bare wall the same way again. Number 1. The cane wigwam. Before pocket planters, before tiered systems, before any clever modern setup, there was the wigwam. 6 bamboo canes pushed into a pot and tied at the top. It looks like something a child built in the garden, and in terms of what it produces per square foot of floor space, it beats almost every system that came after it. Here's why. A large pot takes up roughly half a square foot of floor space. A wigwam of 6 canes reaches 6 feet into the air. 6 climbing bean plants grow up those canes, producing pods from midsummer through autumn. 1 pot, 6 plants. A column of food growing where previously there was only air. I remember the first time I harvested beans from a wigwam and laid them on the kitchen counter. The pile was bigger than I expected, much bigger. From a single pot in the corner of a balcony that I had always thought of as wasted space. That moment, looking at that pile of beans, is when vertical growing stopped being a concept and became something I actually understood. French climbing beans are the ideal wigwam plant. They germinate fast, climb eagerly without being tied, and produce for months. But the wigwam principle extends further. Cucumbers climb it. Small pumpkins climb it, with the fruits supported in simple mesh slings as they develop. Sweet peas climb it and fill the surrounding air with a fragrance that makes the whole growing space smell extraordinary. 6 canes, a handful of seeds, and a corner of your balcony that has been growing nothing starts producing food from floor to ceiling. The oldest trick in the book because it has never stopped working. Number 2. Fence pockets. Most balconies and patios have at least one fence or wall that faces the right direction and does absolutely nothing. It stands there, blank and vertical, holding up a boundary, while 3 feet in front of it there is not enough floor space to put another pot. That wall is wasted growing space, and fabric pocket planters are the simplest possible way to fix that. Fabric pocket planters, long panels with individual planting pockets sewn at intervals, hang on a fence or wall with a single hook. Each pocket holds enough compost for a small plant. A single panel, 2 feet wide and 5 feet tall, carries 20 individual pockets, 20 plants growing on a fence that previously grew nothing. Lettuce is the obvious choice. A pocket planted with loose-leaf varieties gives you continuous cut-and-come-again harvests from a space the size of a dinner plate. Herbs work beautifully. A panel of mixed herbs on a kitchen-facing wall means fresh basil, chives, parsley, and mint within arm's reach of the door. Strawberries trail over the pocket edges and produce fruit that hangs clear of the soil, clean and easy to pick. The one management consideration is watering. Fabric pockets dry out faster than conventional pots because they have more surface area exposed to air and wind. In hot weather, daily watering is necessary. A simple drip line threaded through the pockets solves this permanently. A blank fence, 20 plants, a panel that costs almost nothing and installs in 10 minutes. The wall was always there. Now it is feeding you. Number 3.
Stacking pots. Here's the thing nobody tells you about a plant pot. The floor of it, the surface of the compost, is just another piece of ground. And if it is just another piece of ground, you can put another pot on top of it, and another on top of that. A pot is not the end of the growing space. It is a platform for the next level. That realization, simple as it sounds, is what stacking pots are built on. Start with a large pot, 40 to 50 liters, filled with compost. Place a medium pot on top, offset to one side, pressing it down until stable. Place a small pot on top of that, offset again. You now have 3 tiers of growing space in the footprint of one large pot. Each level has an exposed ring of compost around its edges, a planting space at every height. Strawberries are the classic choice. The fruits trail over the pot edges at every level, catching sun, turning red in sequence from top to bottom across the summer. Picking them at 3 different heights without bending once is a small pleasure that never gets old. Herbs at the upper levels within easy reach, trailing nasturtiums spilling over the lower rim, edible and bright and cheerful. Match plant size to tier. The top and middle tiers suit compact, shallow-rooted plants. The base tier and the outer ring of the large bottom pot can support larger plants with more root room. One footprint producing 3 levels of harvest, the floor space of a single pot doing the work of 3. That multiplication, applied to every pot you own, is how a small space stops feeling small.
Number 4. The trellis wall. A trellis fixed to a wall or fence is not a temporary growing hack. It is a permanent structure that changes the growing potential of your space for every season that follows. Fix it once, and you have a climbing framework available every year. Beans this summer, cucumbers next, climbing roses the year after, whatever the season calls for. The warmth effect is the part most people never think about. A wall behind a trellis absorbs heat from the sun through the day and radiates it back outward through the evening and into the night. Plants growing against that wall, especially in a south or west-facing position, experience measurably warmer conditions than plants in open positions. That warmth advantage extends the growing season at both ends. You can plant slightly earlier in spring. You harvest slightly later in autumn. The wall is doing something for you every single day of the growing season, silently, for free. This is why espalier fruit trees, flat-trained apple and pear trees grown against warm walls have appeared in kitchen gardens for centuries. The wall is a thermal battery, and the plants against it benefit from every degree it stores. You do not need a fruit tree to use the same principle. Tomatoes against a warm wall perform better than tomatoes in open positions. Cucumbers against a warm trellis produce more fruit for longer. Fix the trellis, plant at its base, train climbing plants to it as they grow. The structure costs one afternoon. The benefit lasts as long as the wall stands. Some growing investments pay back in one season. This one pays back in every season that follows.
Number 5. Gutter growing. Standard plastic guttering from any hardware store. Drill drainage holes along the base. Fill with compost. Fix horizontally to a fence or wall in tiered rows like shelves at intervals of about 30 centimeters. Plant into the compost. That is the entire system, and what it produces is completely disproportionate to how simple it is to set up. Each length of guttering is about 10 centimeters deep, and whatever width your fence allows. At 4 or 5 tiers high, a 2-meter wide fence section becomes up to 10 meters of linear growing space for the cost of a few lengths of guttering and an afternoon of drilling. Shallow-rooted crops are perfectly suited to this depth. Lettuce produces continuous cut-and-come-again harvests from a gutter the size of a window box. Radishes germinate in days and are ready in 18 days flat. Harvest the whole gutter, re-sow immediately, and repeat throughout the season. Spring onions grow thickly and continuously. Strawberries trail over the gutter edges, catching light from below, producing fruit that never touches soil. The visual effect is one of the most satisfying things about this system. Tiered rows of green at different heights on a fence that would otherwise be bare, weathered board. People who visit and see it assume it is a professionally designed feature. It is guttering from a builder's merchant and some compost.
Functional, inexpensive, genuinely beautiful. The best ideas are usually all three things at once.
Number 6. The A-frame ladder. This is the one I promised, and the maths are real. An A-frame garden ladder, a simple freestanding triangular structure with shelves at intervals on both sides, takes 1 square foot of floor space at its base. Each shelf carries pots. A ladder 180 centimeters tall with 5 shelves on each side holds 10 growing positions, 10 pots in 1 square foot of floor. If each pot grows lettuce, herbs, or strawberries, 10 harvesting plants, 10 continuous sources of food from a single square foot, that ratio is what vertical growing is actually about. Not just stacking things, genuinely multiplying the productivity of every square foot you have. Build one from timber if you are comfortable with basic construction. Buy one if you prefer. Decorative garden ladder shelves are widely available. Use an old stepladder if you have one. Add shelf boards between the steps, and a piece of hardware destined for disposal becomes a productive growing structure that costs nothing. Position the A-frame in the sunniest spot available. The tiered structure means lower shelves receive less direct sun. Put shade-tolerant plants like mint, parsley, and lettuce lower down. Sun-loving plants like basil and cherry tomatoes go at the top, where light is strongest and warmth accumulates. 1 square foot, 10 plants. And a corner of your growing space that was doing nothing now produces more food than most people think is possible from an area smaller than a doormat.
Number 7. String trellis systems. Not every vertical growing solution needs to be bought or built. Some of the most effective climbing frameworks cost almost nothing and take 10 minutes to set up because the plants genuinely do not care whether they are climbing expensive powder-coated metal or garden twine stretched between 2 nails. They just climb. Fix 2 anchor points on a wall or fence, hooks, nails, or screws. Stretch horizontal lines of garden twine between them at intervals of about 20 centimeters, from the base of the planting up to head height or above. Plant climbing vegetables at the base. Guide the first stems onto the lowest string. The plants take over from there. Cucumbers are ideal. They produce tendrils that grasp twine eagerly, climbing quickly and distributing their weight across multiple lines as they grow. A single cucumber plant trained up a string trellis takes up perhaps 30 centimeters of floor space while covering 2 square meters of vertical wall surface with foliage and fruit. Tomatoes grown as cordons, single-stemmed plants trained vertically, side shoots removed, work brilliantly on string systems. The plant goes upward instead of outward, producing the same fruit load in a fraction of the horizontal footprint. At the end of the season, cut the strings. The nails stay in the wall. Run fresh strings next spring. The same 2 small fixings in the same wall give you a full climbing framework every year for the rest of the time you grow there. 2 nails, some string, a wall you are not using. That combination quietly becomes one of the most productive things in your garden, and you will wonder, genuinely, why you did not do it years ago.
Number 8. Hanging baskets reloaded. Hanging baskets have a reputation. Petunias, lobelia, the kind of thing that hangs outside a pub, looks cheerful in June and requires watering twice a day in summer in exchange for producing absolutely nothing you can eat. That reputation is based entirely on what goes in the basket. The basket itself is a perfectly functional container suspended in mid-air, which is exactly where productive plants want to be. Change what you plant, change everything. A 35-centimeter basket filled with compost and planted with tumbling tom cherry tomatoes, a variety specifically bred to trail downward, produces a cascade of fruit that ripens through July and August. The tomatoes hang below the basket, catching sun, turning from green to gold to red in sequence. One basket suspended from a bracket that occupies no floor space whatsoever, producing kilograms of cherry tomatoes across the summer.
Strawberries in hanging baskets are extraordinary. The runners trail over the edges, the fruits hang in clean air well away from slugs and soil, and picking them requires no bending, no kneeling, no searching through foliage. Suspend 3 baskets at staggered heights from a single tall bracket, and you have a strawberry tower producing all summer from one floor fixing. A mixed herb basket hung beside a kitchen door gives you fresh basil, mint, parsley, and chives within arm's reach of the cooking every day. The bracket is already in the wall. The space above the ground has always been there. The only thing that needed to change was what you decided to grow in it. I still think about standing at that railing looking at my neighbor's wall, embarrassed by my 2 pots of basil, not knowing that everything I needed was already there. The fence, the wall, the air above every pot I owned. The space was never the problem. It was just waiting for the right idea. Now you have 8 of them. Go use one. Drop a comment and tell me which hack you are trying first and how much space you are working with. I read every single one. I'll see you in the next one.